And just an interesting title he's got there, Dark Man X. I'm sure that's more or less to do with his skin color than the title, because they all have these satanic connotations underneath everything that they say. Here in his lyrics, he actually goes on to say, "Since I run with the devil, I'm one with the devil. I sold my soul to the devil. The price was cheap." So once again, another example. What about the more tame type of music? I bet you're saying now, surely not these guys. Well, it's amazing because when groups like, or this whole boy band scenario came out, and people like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC came out, there was a big sigh of relief amongst parents. They were saying, finally, something that our kids can listen to which seems wholesome and seems nice. But is it really wholesome? Or once again, are we going to see the same thing? Here's a quote from Express Writer in 1998. It says, "Their focus is on good morals." So we're about to see how really good their morals are. Now, an interesting little fact. The average age of the Backstreet Boys is 27 to 30 years old. And the average age of their fan is 12 years old. So what kind of message are these harmless boy bands giving to the children? Let's have a look. Here's an article from Entertainment Weekly where they go on to say, in regards to the Backstreet Boys, that they sing a ludicrous line, "Am I sexual?" Hordes of 8 to 15-year-old girls clutch their throwaway cameras and scream their braces off. Another night, another 10,000 sexual awakenings. So they have a big influence on the kids, don't they? But I just want you to have a look at this one set of lyrics that they sing about. And this will show you just some of the stuff they're actually preaching to the children. They say, "You always push me away. You tell me it's much too soon. But I just can't help it. I'm always going to lose control. I hear you saying, I think we should wait. I can't hold on anymore. My body is calling for you. So please don't hesitate. No, you know I got to do what I got to do, baby." What do you think that's singing about? It's basically singing about sexual immorality. And remember what the age of their fan base is? 12 years old. So anyone here have any 12-year-old children? Yeah? Yeah, a few? Well, just think about it. These are the lyrics they're basically preaching to those children. And you wonder why teenage pregnancies are so high these days and why so many youth are just into sexual immorality in such a great scale, and things like AIDS is so great. And here's another example, NSYNC. NSYNC was basically the younger brothers, you could say, of the Backstreet Boys. They were, there was this guy called Uncle Phil, and he was the guy who basically produced all the boy bands. And after Backstreet Boys their profits started to fizzle down, he thought, hang on a sec, why don't I release another group? And that's where NSYNC came from. So is NSYNC any different to the Backstreet Boys? Here we have Rolling Stone magazine. They actually go on to say that NSYNC has much darker stuff, like teen horror movies and grunge, brimming with pent-up tensions of teenhood, burbling hormones and unbearable, overwhelming feelings. Okay. Well, let's see what kind of lyrics they're preaching to their audiences. And this is very interesting, just what they say in here, because this is supposed to be just casual lyrics that are getting the kids all happy to dance and boyfriend, girlfriend kind of stuff. But there's actually a much deeper message, even in these tame groups, you could say. Here's the lyrics for one of their songs, Space Cowboy. They sing, "Here it comes, millennium, and everyone's talking about Jerusalem. Is this the beginning or the beginning of the end? Well, I've got other thoughts, my friends. We don't need all this prophecies telling us what's a sign. Leave your doubts and your fears behind." Now I ask you this. What are those prophecies that are they talking about? What are the prophecies that they're saying that they don't need? What are these signs? It's the Bible, it's Scripture. Here, in a very subtle way, this group is basically saying, we don't need the Bible. Just leave your doubts and your fears behind. Now, it just goes to show that you can never judge a book by its cover. Even groups that seem so innocent like that can have their agendas. And that's why it's so important for every single music thing we listen to. We need to look into the lyrics. We need to look behind the artists themselves and what they're into, what they're involved into. And we need to look at these things ourselves. Because a lot of times there's always a lot of baggage under the carpet, you could say, that they don't like people seeing. What about girl groups? Here we have the Spice Girls, and I'm sure everyone has heard of them sometime. What do they sing? Are they any different? Here's some of their lyrics. In their song, When Two Become One, they sing, "Be a little bit wiser, baby. Put it on, put it on. 'Cause tonight is the night where two become one." What do you think they're talking about there? Well, they're basically teaching their young fan base how to use condoms. Now, the scary thing about, especially a group like Spice Girls, is they've got an even younger fan base than the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Their fan base starts at probably age 5, 6, maybe even age 4, and goes up. And just take a look. This was one of a particular, I don't know, it was like a audience interactive kind of thing where they had a lot of kids around them, and most of these kids were aged from between the age of 8 to 15. And they were all spread out around them, and this is the actual song that was being sung to them. These are the lyrics for it. It was, "Do what your mama said, I will not be told. Keep your mouth shut, keep your legs shut. Who cares what they say? Because rules are for the breaking. Who made them anyway? Make your own rules." Now, how many commandments are actually being broken in this one song that is being taught to these young kids? To disobey your family, your parents. Who made the rules anyway? Who made them? God. So they're not only blaspheming, but they're breaking the first, second, and third commandments. So this is what is getting taught to the kids. And once again, I have to emphasize, do not judge a book by its cover, because you need to, everything your kids listen to, you need to examine it and see what is actually being said. Because a lot of the time, Satan has subtly put these things in there just to try to corrupt your children. That's why it's so important. Another example, Britney Spears. What's some songs that she sings? Here she sings this line, I bet you we can pop like we've never popped it before. And in the American slang book, pop is basically a term for fornication or sex. And she also sings to a lot of young kids as well. Same with Christina Aguilera. She's got a lot of sexually explicit kind of music and lyrics. And here's just a lovely little quote from her, and it gives you insight about what they actually think of your children. She says, "Whatever I do, it's my business. It's not my job to parent America. But it is her job to get paid to basically corrupt your children." Responsible people, aren't they? "Therefore, by their fruits you will know them." Matthew 7:20. This is a lovely tree because it's got beautiful fruits like love, faithfulness, goodness, kindness, self-control, gentleness. All these things that God tells us are the fruits of the Spirit. So, is there a message in this for all of us? You will know them by their fruits, I believe. Well, let's take a quick look and see what some of the fruits of this modern day music industry are. And we will see how Christian-like it really is.